Honourable Member for Churchill.
This declaration was passed at the United Nations General Assembly on September 13, 2007. Human rights supporters from across the globe in their disappointment that for the first time ever, Canada has sought exemption from a human rights standard adopted by the General Assembly at the United Nations. By ignoring Indigenous rights to self-determination, Canada is sending a negative message to the world. Despite this, by standing united, Aboriginal peoples are clearly determined to secure our right to self-determination as defined in international law.
The Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, or UNDRIP for short, was created September 13, 2007. Its purpose was to define or constitute the minimum standards for the survival, dignity, and well-being of the Indigenous peoples of the world. It was signed by all but 4 countries: the USA, New Zealand, Australia, and even Canada. Despite their involvement in creating the Declaration since the 1970s, they did not sign it.
It was passed by an overwhelming majority vote of 144 to 4, with Canada's Conservative government shamefully voting against rights for Indigenous people. Mr. Speaker, this government must realize Canadians took pride in our reputation, in the role we used to have as human rights champions in the global community. They should take back this role and implement the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples.
The declaration was non-legally binding, so Canada and the 3 other countries were not forced to sign it. These countries all had similar opinions on why not to sign the declaration. All were opposed because of their similar colonial ties and history, and felt the signing of the UNDRIP would undermine the sovereignty of their own states, particularly in the context of land disputes and natural resource extraction.
Communities all over the world face barriers to the full enjoyment of their rights. One of the largest barriers are resource extraction companies who exploit the land and resources of Indigenous peoples. Often, little to no free, prior, and informed consent is given, which can result in communities being forcibly relocated. Livelihoods and ways of life that are deeply connected to their traditional territories are at risk as contaminated and water supplies polluted and overused.
No G20, no G8. We stand in solidarity. 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 No G20 on Mississauga land. No G20 on Mississauga land. No G20 on Mississauga land.
For 2009 and 2010, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, and the United States reversed their positions and now support the UNDRIP. Canada officially signed the declaration on November 12, 2010. The declaration is to encourage countries to work alongside Indigenous peoples to solve global issues, like development and multicultural democracy. They work with their rights to culture, identity, language, employment, health, education, and other issues. It also emphasizes the rights of Indigenous peoples to maintain and strengthen their own institutions, cultures, and traditions, and to pursue their development in keeping with their own needs and aspirations, and prohibiting discrimination.